Hey, everybody. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 286 for August 8th, 2018. My name is Russell Frost, and I have a couple of announcements to start the show with. First and foremost, thanks to all of you for sticking with us this week because we skipped an episode last week because I was moving. So I'm in a new place now. Guess where the Wi-Fi stops?
You cut out right. Your Wi-Fi.
Oh my gosh!
If I do a little max headroom here, I'm never cute, but there it is anyway. So thanks for putting up with us. Let's introduce the panel. We have a metric shit ton of news to cover this week, kids, and we're gonna get to it all. So let's see, my friend from Canada, he drives a brand new, exciting Model 3, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We've got a ton of stuff, and Russell's going to be max headroom today, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We're bringing back the 80s on the show.
No one under 40 probably knows who Max Headroom is.
Half scratch their head and they're Googling Max Headroom. What the fuck?
Did he die recently?
No, Matt Frewer?
I'm just starting that rumor right here.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Matt Frewer's dead. Oh, that's what sucked because he's cool. The man slandering Matt Frewer is our friend in Portland. I like to call him Patrick Connor.
Hello from Oregon, whenever and wherever you are. Buckle up. We're going to have a great show tonight. Let's roll.
Indeed. Buckle up indeed. The man next to him is our man.
Hold on, Patrick. Is that sun coming through your window in Portland?
Yeah, this is that thing that lights forests on fire, I hear.
There's a beautiful brown sunset out my front window right now. It is gorgeous.
It
brown
is hot
sky.
here.
Is it? Yeah, well, yeah, it's like 102 here, so it's what we call fire weather. That man in the Midwest making fun of my flammable state is Mr. Doctor. I don't know. He's something. Evan Busco.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing? Still sitting here waiting for my Model 3 delivery.
And where the fuck is Elon? Huh? Is he going to come to your house?
That may be the thing. He may be,
He's too busy twittering stock news.
That would be so cool to have him deliver it personally. That would be so awesome.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. Why not, right? And would you get him to sign your car?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Are you supposed to have him sign the glove box?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Well, the man with the glove box suggestion is our man in Boulder, Colorado, founder of Boulder Hybrids in Boulder, because that's Boulder. I said Boulder like 6 times.
Does he live under a boulder?
Exactly. Crawl out from under your boulder. If you don't know who he is, we call him Paul Guzik.
Everybody, glad to be back. And my beer sponsor today is from the Breckenridge Brewery, and it's Lucky You IPA, although it's probably Lucky Me because I'm drinking it and you're not.
Just rub it in. Thanks.
Exactly. And in a show that I care nothing for tradition, our first story this week goes to Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Yes. Well, on the West Coast in California.
Where?
On the West Coast in California, Fireland. The Trump administration has now indicated that the EPA is going to move its fuel economy standards. And they're also planning... So
they're moving them to more forest fires per year?
That's right. Yeah,
there's
not enough happening, Paul. They need more. So the administration plan is to freeze mileage targets in 2020 for 6 years. And they're also going to try to, I guess, negate California's right currently to set their own mileage targets.
It's the Smokey the Bear job security program.
Make America smog again.
Exactly.
Yeah, make America dumber. Oh wait, I didn't say that, did I?
And
I'm gonna get an email.
you've already got email, I'm sure.
His internet's too slow to read it, though.
You'll get email after the show. Yes, but California has vowed to fight the EPA's move to freeze these fuel economies, as well as their right to set them themselves. So this article from the Los Angeles Times, I'm going to share just an interesting graph that comes with the article. And you can see the ambitious target that was laid out, where here we are in 2016, and the 2025 goal was 54.5 miles per gallon over the base. That's an average for the actual fleet of all cars and trucks. And Trump's plan is way down here at 37 miles per gallon. And we're currently sitting at 35.5. So that is quite a jump that they want to stop. They want it to jump from 35.5 to 37 is where they're figuring they should stop it for 6 years.
So if this had been JFK's plan to get man on the moon, we would be landing a man in about 5 years.
You would still be landing a man in Greenland at this point. Yes.
Oh my God. Such ambition.
I mean,
yeah.
Hey, but big oil's going to benefit.
Right. Yeah.
No one gets to be surprised. This is the administration that just brought back asbestos. Okay, that's fun. They just like, okay, it's okay to use asbestos again because why not?
So the worst part of this for me is that this is the administration that says small government's the way to go, and that the federal government should allow the states to do their own thing and have states' rights. And if they want to reduce the CAFE standard, the federal one, fine, they're in charge. I'm not happy about it, but then to take that extra step to say, oh, and states also can't do anything that they want, that we're in charge and we'll stop you. That's just the ridiculous part of this argument.
So when there's even more forest fires in following years, is the feds going to come and pay to put them out in California? Or?
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What candidate did California? And do you think anyone in the Trump administration is going to lift a finger to save California from anything? No. Let's be realistic about that. I mean, they, already working to fight back, its right to control its clean air standards within the state. And the Trump administration is going to fight back. It's crazy.
So California has vowed that they're going to fight this in court. And they're also going to get help from the 13 other states that follow the CAFE standards at this point. And a little factoid, California and the 13 states, if you combine their buying power, they're purchasing about 1/3 of all the vehicles in the United States at this point. So This is a huge segment that has these settings or these standards already in place and want higher standards as time goes along. It's going to be interesting to see if they can, what kind of fight this is going to be in court, federal court, as they fight the administration on this. But man, for the betterment of all of us, I really hope they can win.
Yeah, and I'm sure that even though this might sound like it's a good thing for the automakers, I don't think they're happy about it either, because it injects a lot of uncertainty, and they don't want that. They want to have a known roadmap where they can design and develop cars and plan what their mix is going to be for plugins and not. And so even the automakers are probably not happy about this.
I might have to argue with that, Patrick, for the fact that the auto associations have been arguing in favor of this.
Yeah.
So,
as soon as Trump was elected, they had
exactly. They started to argue against or for this type of rollback. So I really think that the associations, which are basically controlled by the automakers, all of the automakers except for one,
Right.
really have been arguing for this. So they're attempting to get this roll back, I would say.
That's sad.
It's worse than sad.
Yeah.
But
It's evil.
so in context with everything this administration's done to hurt and injure people and increase pollution and disregard standards, because that's what it is. That's what they do. And every worst possible thing they can do, they'll do.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
So that's a great story to start us off with.
Hey, everything's going to be great. We're all going to die.
Enjoy the pretty sunsets as the world burns.
Exactly. And, if you're lucky, you'll beat the asbestos by getting killed by something else. So, it's when you're hoping for the Black Death because it's quick,
And
Is that too cynical?
Invest in your Soylent Green now.
Yeah. Thank you. So our next story started here. Let me share this with you. You've probably seen it. Let me read it though, just in case you haven't heard.
420, was he on
There's this-
420 when he did that, or?
Yeah, there's this guy named Elon Musk. He runs this little car company, and he tweets a lot, which is really weird because there's another chief executive that tweets a lot. But I'm not making that connection. Anyway, August 7th, that was yesterday morning at 9:48 a.m. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, says, "I'm considering taking 420 funding secured." And then on a follow-up said shareholders could either sell at 420 or hold shares and go private. And then, of course, the good joke that I don't want to bypass, and Mark corrected me on the Tesla life, is, of course, Tesla shares at 420 billion. So this is like a numerologist, like wet dream, Is Elon making pot jokes? Sex jokes? Who knows? What's Elon doing? I'll tell you what I think Elon's doing. Elon's manipulating the market.
No way. We've talked about this on the show before, that he's said multiple times life would be a whole lot easier for him if Tesla was not a publicly traded company, that he could focus on long-term goals.
Yeah, but throwing a number out there he knows that's gonna impact the market, and it did, and that's not cool with the SEC.
Well, the SEC doesn't give a shit. I'm sorry, this is the Trump administration. Do you think they're going to prosecute him? I mean, unless he pisses Trump off personally, he's going to be able to do whatever. He can piss all over the rules, and that's what irritates me. Because like Trump, what Elon's doing is pissing in the pool that has been otherwise still pretty crappy and dirty, but not this dirty. Now,
wait. So what is it that you have a problem with? What did he do that's so horrible? He has plans and he announced them.
Really? So he figured out these quarter two call.
You're cutting out.
So he didn't announce them on the official quarter two call. He didn't announce them in the 10K. He hasn't done any of the official announcements. He fucking puts it on Twitter.
But that's legal. That was
perfectly legal. Yeah.
Yeah. That part of their the rules that they made with the SEC said that they would be using that medium for release of some information. Now, granted, they haven't traditionally done that for official announcements, but it is legal.
It's not like he told his 5 friends.
Yeah,
he's got 22 million followers. That's a pretty public forum. In fact, I would say it's more democratic to do it on Twitter than it would have been to do it in the investor call, because how many people listen to that? Because
that's the official place to make declarations like that. That's where they're supposed to make them, no matter
who said
what.
No,
That's call and then follow
that's
up.
where you
Russell,
think they're
that's not
supposed to
true.
do it.
They officially have it in their documents, in their filings with the SEC, that they can make announcements on Twitter. So, you can be old farty dud if you want and say that they have to do it the old-fashioned way, but that isn't the rules.
I'll be honest with you. I'm I'm a little fucking sick and tired of this bullshit of Elon reinventing everything, and it's always good. Hey, whatever. We're not going to release our sales number. Hey, we got parking lots with thousands of Model 3s in them, but we're new. That's cool. Come on.
So, no, it's not just
Really?
that it's cool. So normally these things are done after hours. You have to be an accredited investor to have access to after hours tradings in most markets. It's not. So this was done at 10 o'clock in the morning when the markets still have several hours, and you could see the tweet, you could respond to it, you could do whatever you wanted, you could sell, you could buy, and you didn't have to be an insider with after hours, and you didn't have to listen to investor calls. I think this was a much better way to announce something like this.
But
speechless.
to me, it's like it's a rumor. Like, is it secured? Who's going to finance it? The Saudis? I don't know. I think it's just he's like throwing. It's like clickbait. He's throwing shit out there and seeing what sticks. What people.
Yeah, well, so I don't think there's any doubt he's fucking with the shorter share. He made statements before
right.
that he intended to. Yeah, no, look, that doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just part of what he's doing. It's part of the process. But you know, he was very careful in his wording. We talked about in the Tesla Life, and I'll read the statement again here. There are no legal repercussions for saying funding secured. It's the sort of the same difference between collusion and conspiracy. Collusion isn't a crime. It means nothing in the legal sense. Conspiracy is a crime. If you say, I secured this, it could mean you had a conversation. Committed means something else. If you have committed funding, you have documentation and conditions. Secured just means lined up. It doesn't mean much. That was from a CNBC article. And, so he was very careful in the way he said it.
Is there a chance that you might loan me money? And they said, yeah, maybe. And that's funding secured.
That he can say that.
He's talked to the board. A lot of them are major investors in the company. That's why they have a board seat. And he said, hey, if we took this private, would you maintain your ownership at similar stakes or maybe even buy more? And they had indicated that they would, at least enough of them that it looks probable that this deal could go through. And then once you've started talking about it like that, how long do you keep it and not tell everybody else who potentially own shares? I think you should go out early as soon as you can.
Do you think though that this, like, is that the major reason behind this, or was it to screw with the shorters?
I don't think it matters what the reason is.
Oh, and it's probably. I think there's multiple reasons. It doesn't have to be one or the other. We talked.
Well, it certainly made the market jump. Like there was no, and I think it was calculated. He knew it would make the market jump, and with him picking a number like 420, you know that the stock is going to go up $80 a share roughly. And sure enough, it jumped to 380, and it's like that was on purpose.
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm sad about that, being a shareholder.
Well, and so here's the question that I have for Patrick and Evan. You guys are both investors. I'm not. As investors, and I know that you're both delighted because you both made money. Yay. And I'm cool. Like, you're my friends. I'm so glad you guys did.
For the record, I made money before the tweet. I would have made more after the tweet.
Right. Fair enough. So, but you're cool with this sort of what I see as like polluting the information stream. You're cool with that.
Yeah, I don't see it as polluting the information stream. I see it as putting out information that's relevant to the company that needs to be shared publicly in a forum that we all heard about it. So I think it was very effective.
And as an investor, you have to decide whether you think it's, just like everything else in investing, you have to make a decision. What information do you believe? How much do you weigh that information when you do believe it in your decision-making process? And this is the same thing. There are people that probably going to make money on maybe shorting it now. Who knows if they guess right that this isn't going to actually happen.
If you're a Tesla investor and you don't know that Elon Musk tweets some shit, you're in for a shock.
I don't Wow, you're ignorant if you don't realize that Elon Musk is a loose cannon and tweets a bunch of crazy shit. And his stock, makes his more volatile stock even more volatile. Yay, whatever, it's all good.
Yeah, you have to know the stock you're betting on. Absolutely.
No question about it. Here's the other thing, though, that I think stinks about this bullshit is that we just heard about Elon's just done a bunch of things to make his company profitable. And he said, we're going to be profitable. And then he said the main reason for this move is so that he doesn't have to worry about shit like that anymore. Does nobody see the kind of you can't have it both ways?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well, Russell, you have to have it both ways for the fact that he is now a public company, and he has been saying forward statements as to what they plan to do to make themselves profitable. He's also indicated his disdain for loaning money, more money from Wall Street. He doesn't want to do that because he knows the strings that are attached to it. And he knows that he has to answer Wall Street at their beckon when they ask questions. Otherwise, he's portrayed as a loose cannon that shouldn't, be ahead of the company because he can't even answer questions on a normal earnings call. So he wants to be out of that now because he can't stand it. So yeah, you can have it both ways. He has changed direction. He's now saying that we're going to be profitable, and moving forward, I would rather get rid of these Wall Street guys altogether.
Well, I don't know. Replace those with somebody who doesn't care.
No, you're still going to have a lot of those guys investing. The difference is you're not on this public market where you can have people shorting the stock. It's going to be a privately held company. There might be some market that they make to allow individual investors through some Fidelity fund or other things like they've done at SpaceX. But you're not going to have a market that has the level of volatility because the stock will be priced twice a year. And those are the only windows for trades that are open. And then you can have a longer term vision.
And forgive me, Mark, you're a stockholder too, right?
No.
You're not. Okay. I didn't think so. And then I thought, oh wait, maybe Mark is Evan, you sold, right?
I sold on Thursday or Friday last week.
Patrick, you holding or selling?
Oh, I'm holding. Yeah.
What are you going for? 420? Or are you going to keep it if it goes private?
I don't know.
Well, because of the volatility, though, like Evan, you can buy back in a couple of weeks when some other event happens and the stock goes down.
Maybe
and just ride it up and down.
I have done that as well. Yeah, I sold some at 370 and I bought it back at 260, and so yeah, I might do that again.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of people.
Well, here's a good question.
Stock.
Good question for Patrick. If it was to go private, as you said today, would you go private with it or sell it at 420?
Oh, I would definitely keep some. I might sell some, but I'm definitely gonna. I want to see what this owning it privately would be like. So I'm definitely going to keep at least some shares.
Fair enough. Well, I'm so not surprised that some of us disagree on this issue. I didn't expect that. I thought you guys would all fall in line behind me and I expect. And if you believe that, welcome to your very first What Drives a Show. There you go, folks.
Be sure to subscribe to the show since you're here for the first time.
That's it. YouTube.com/whatdrivesus. You can hit subscribe there, and yeah, you'll be notified every time we.
If you click the little bell, you'll get the notifications every week.
So there's sort of a coda to this, and this is a story that I'm working on that I don't really have, but I just kind of want to talk a little bit about it.
Coda went out of business.
Yeah, they did. Man, that 83 Celica, or 83 Corolla, excuse me. Tesla, is famous for the Gigafactory and for Fremont and whatnot, but they have other facilities. In this case, Tesla has a factory in Lathrop, California. If you're not familiar with California geography, Lathrop is over the hills from Fremont on a direct straight east route, and in the very warm and dusty Central Valley. And there's been an interesting instance where some of those people that Elon hates have been kind of stalking this factory. And as it turns out, they're actually between 3,000 and 5,000 Model 3s sitting outside at Lathrop. Just nobody really knows why. It's as you might imagine, Tesla's discouraging people from actively investigating what's going on their private property, and I don't blame. But here is, and they actually have 2 facilities in Lathrop. And I guess the question is, nobody really knows, but anybody have any good theories on why 1,000 Model 3s sitting in what is essentially the hot, dusty desert?
Waiting for parts?
Or getting ready to ship out to the East Coast? Who knows?
I'd be sure.
Yeah, I think the parts question is an interesting one. They had all those seat issues. Maybe they got
or they failed quality control and they're sitting in there in purgatory till they can fix them.
It's like there were some on trucks being delivered.
There's a couple or being picked up, right? We don't really know.
Right.
I think it's interesting. And again, this is different because Tesla's so different, because Tesla doesn't sell their vehicles to a dealer who then stocks them for sales. For sales, possibly. Maybe that's what's going on. There's certainly no strategic reason like there was in June to stock vehicles, right? We all agreed that.
Yeah, if they had a reason to stockpile them before the July 1st date, and now they've got to get them out of there, how many truck carriers do they have? How many are there? If they've stockpiled thousands of cars, these might just, it's only a month and a week later. Maybe they're still trying to get them out of there. I mean, would they carry like 8 cars at a time? I mean,
right. Well, or you use Elon's new home delivery program that carries 1 car.
Right. So yeah, that home delivery program was just because that was the only thing they could get from U-Haul to get a car out of there. Yeah. You don't have anything that'll take 2? Fine, we'll take that one. Let's go.
That's fine. I don't care. It's interesting. So there'll be more on that. I am actively working on this story, and if we find out some more information about why these, it will be reported right here on What Drives Us, kids. Hey, wow. Next up, EV plug-in sales for July. From Green Car Reports, let me pull their graph up and post that so you can see it. Interesting numbers. As this, my apologies, Matthew Klippenstein did this, and it's a nice thing. It's not the one we normally do from Inside EVs, and yeah, just my mistake for that. So July, 350 Model 3s.
That's a Canadian chart.
Oh yeah, that's Canada. You can see how.
Where's the U.S. chart?
Yeah,
I was like, wait a
dropped
second.
off a cliff when they went from June to July because they're not shipping anymore north.
We got our allotment of 2,500. We're not getting one more. That's it.
Right.
Well, and then tax credits went away in Ontario.
We've been cut off.
And now the clock is ticking for the tax credit here in the U.S. So
that's right.
I don't think there's any that are going to be leaving the U.S. for the rest of this year.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. Inside EVs. Now, July. There's the chart that we're happy with. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so Model 3. 14,250. That's 10 U.S. best-selling sedans. Not bad.
That is
Talk
a lot.
about a jump.
It's a lot of vehicles. Now, not 5,000 a week, but no one here is surprised that number went down once the claim had been made, right? I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not surprised.
That was expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody expected to see a 20,000 number or higher.
Well, those are deliveries, right? So deliveries are going to lag manufacturing.
Well, actually, Elon did indicate during the Q2 letter that they reached 5,000 twice in July. They didn't say twice; they said a few times. But certainly, if they made it happen 3 times, they would have said it. And if it was more than once, they would have said a few. So that's what it is. They hit it twice in July.
And they're targeting 6,000 for this month.
I'm surprised how little the Leaf is selling.
Yeah, they might have an Osborne effect going on there because everybody knows that the 2019 is going to be a new battery chemistry and liquid cooled and longer range. And so one time when the Osborne effect might actually be real because the one it's named after, it was not real.
Right.
And I'm actually shocked that the Honda Clarity is selling as much as a Chevy Volt almost.
Yeah. Why would you buy something at the same price and half the range? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not half. It's maybe 10% less.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like
the Honda Clarity. What's the range? Oh, that's a PHEV.
That's the plug-in hybrid. Yeah.
Okay, because they have a
they have an
electric
EV version. Okay. Yes.
And I thought it was only like 85 miles range.
Right, and it sold 120 pieces.
Okay. Oh yeah, that one's way down there. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's the plug-in. It's a nice little car too. It's not a bad car. Plug-in to me includes plug-in hybrids and battery electric. So I just need to check my nomenclature here. Okay, I'm with you now. There you go. The Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 350 pieces. We have a review coming out on that very, very soon. I finished driving that, and I'll blow it right now just because that's the kind of guy. Really positive review. Cool. I really enjoyed that car as much as I not. I'm sorry, Paul.
Is it 2 thumbs up?
Well, you can't see me, but it is definitely 2 thumbs up.
How many monkeys and how many umbrellas are?
How many monkeys? Wow, now you're going back, right? That's a 4 sword, 2 monkey, 3 umbrella cocktail. And are we keeping you up? Because I don't want to keep you up, man.
If anybody in the chat room recognizes that, please comment. You'll get a shout.
Yeah, I would love to know if anyone knows what Patrick is talking about, because I know. And I just finished a week with the Leaf, and I really it a bit. The old-fashioned, boring Leaf, I don't know what the
you had a 2018, right, Russell?
I had a 2018. I did not have the Leaf that everyone's very excited about that Patrick claims is Osborne effect, and I agree. I think that's a big deal. I know a lot of people in the Leaf groups are talking about the new one, but the old one is priced well, and it's a great little car. And I say little not because it's small, because it's cute and I like it, and I would own one of those cars in a heartbeat. So yeah, another 2 thumbs up review.
Cool.
I don't know what else here. Cadillac still makes a CT6 allegedly. 20.
Is that the Chinese one?
Yep, it's only made in China.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce in the chat room just mentioned that the Outlander PHEV just got a $8,000 price drop in New Zealand.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Wow.
So, Bruce, how much does that make that car in New Zealand dollars?
And do you guys have a tax incentive of some sort?
Yeah.
Or rebate program?
He says that's $1,000 more than the petrol, which I'm assuming is something like gas.
That's a good
I thought a petrol was a bird, but
no, that's a pelican.
They only have kiwis down there. That's the only bird they have.
His answer to how much is too much.
Too much. It's not an answer, Bruce. That is not an answer.
It's a great car. It really is. I was very impressed. And a lot of it is, well, I can't actually say that. But yeah, because I didn't like the gas version so much. The gas version of that vehicle.
Well, the gas version is like any other mid-size SUV.
It's actually not. It's actually nowhere near as nice as any other mid-size SUV.
Oh, wow.
Even the Kia and Hyundai?
Today turned in the Eclipse Cross, their midsize SUV, their new one.
Right.
That's a really strong gas car. I mean,
Yeah, if it's only $1,000
nice
more
little
than
car.
the petrol version, you're gonna make that up in gas savings pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
that's definitely if it's $8,000 more than the petrol version, that's a whole different ballgame than $1,000 more.
Is that $1,000 net after local incentives?
Here we go.
Maybe?
Bruce come back with $55,990 New Zealand dollars.
Jesus.
So what's that in American dollars?
That's the next
That's
thing.
That's a lot of money.
37,000 roughly US.
Okay.
US. Oh, okay.
Well, that's about right.
37,000. That's a great car for 37 grand. I'm trying to think of what.
Especially if you can get like 10 grand in rebates on it.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
there's that, and yeah.
Especially with petrol prices in New Zealand. I mean, that's not
It
insignificant.
must be like $5 a gallon down there.
At least it was closer to 8 when I was down there, I think. So it was really high. And so now electricity is probably not cheap either, but it might be. They certainly have a lot more solar and wind, so maybe able to fuel it at home for free.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Well,
If electricity prices
I know that
too high, you can just install solar.
I know that most of you guys don't ever have any reason to look at this. This happens to be something that affects lots of other people. This is the Gas Buddy National Gas Price Map.
Never heard of it.
This has been.
I'm not Gas's buddy.
I understand the East Coast took a huge jump in gas prices, like 30 cents in the last week. California is still high, but pot's legal, and because it's expensive to live here. That was a joke. Jesus.
I was in New York City this weekend, and in Manhattan, I saw one gas station. It was $4.24 a gallon, and then I was in Queens, and it was $2.93 a gallon. So
wow,
big difference.
Yeah.
But if you can own a car in Manhattan, you can afford, $4 plus gas, I guess.
And probably someone to go fill it up for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and park it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. My point is, it seems like gas prices are slowly swelling again.
Yeah.
And
with the lower fuel economy standards, demand will go up for gas, and price may go up.
oh, go
Gee.
figure.
Underpants, profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
that's
still
not
get a good laugh of driving by the gas station day after day and watching the tote board go up, and I just have a smile on my face every time that the tote board at the gas station goes up.
It makes sending that monthly Tesla.
Now, do you
payment so
stop
much
at the gas station like for a coffee or a lotto ticket or anything? Or
just to be a
At this point, Paul, I don't.
and
even
if you
do
walk
that.
up to the cashier, say to everybody in line, "Hey, I haven't bought gas for 8 months in my car."
Just
Oh,
go into quote.
I'm real popular at the office, Paul, because I and only one other have an electric vehicle. And I went in the other day and said, "Is anyone to check out the gas prices today?"
everybody throws things
Of
out.
course,
like,
everyone
I don't
knows I
care.
have an electric car and I get a moan. But I said, "Oh, so you have seen the gas prices today?"
Yeah, I was just talking with my friend who went with me down that San Diego trip, and we were talking about how cheap the whole trip was because we stayed with friends and we were down there. The superchargers were all free. Even with the stuff we bought at Comic-Con and meals, it's really hard to get a vacation that cheap. It was awesome.
Electric cars make sense, as we've said here for a very long time.
And it could have even been cheaper if you slept in the Tesla.
Well, we stayed with friends. They didn't charge us, and they have a bathroom and a shower. Things that I don't think Tesla has yet as option.
A bathroom,
But
They'll probably have a shower in the Tesla Semi.
oh, yeah. Someone's going to buy one of those and can just hook on a nice big RV and
Yeah.
haul it around. Yeah. Fifth wheel.
behind a Tesla Semi. I like that.
Yeah. That's the Tesla life right there. That's
Will you put aside No, maybe not.
Well, actually, what would be cool is to
finally-
hook the RV AC, big screen TV and stuff into the Tesla battery, and then drive it to the supercharger to fill it up every time.
Yep, and you're just sitting
run
there
your-
watching your big screen.
right while you're mining bitcoins.
That's gonna
Yes.
that's gonna be part of the party mode that Elon is adding soon to a Tesla near you.
It's a new Easter egg. If you find it, then you can unlock the secret. Our next story goes to Mr. Paul Guzik, who wants to talk about what it's like to get parts for a Tesla.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you out there in Tesla land have been watching YouTube. There's this guy, Rich Rebuilds, who is a kind of a Tesla hacker rebuilder. He's kind of my new hero. He goes out and buys wrecked Teslas, flooded Teslas, and cuts and pastes them together and makes cheap operable cars. Fortunately, Tesla's given him a bit of a hard time. They don't want to let him supercharge some of them. They don't want to support them. That's a whole different discussion, but it is cool that he is properly recycling these cars. There was a great documentary done by a site called Motherboard. I'll share the link here. But watch some of his videos. It's pretty cool stuff. And what is really neat is he is in Massachusetts, which has what's called the Right to Repair Act, which means the manufacturer cannot withhold information to independent repair shops and body shops that they would otherwise use with their own dealers. Now, they have a bit of a loophole because they don't have any dealers because they're directly, company stores. But it is pretty cool that there's this underground movement to recycle every possible Tesla part they can find when a car gets wrecked. And he actually built a Model S that cost about $6,500 in dollars. Of course, probably a few hundred hours of his time, but he has a very drivable, operable Jeep Tesla. So anybody out there with a lot of time and not a lot of money, watch his videos and maybe you can get a cheap car, cheap Tesla.
There you go.
Yeah, here he is taking apart the whole dash. So for example, the car he talks about in this video, he bought a flooded car, so all the electronics were toast. And then he bought a collision car, which all the body was toast. And he basically took all the running gear and electronics from the collision car and put it in the flood car. And away he goes down the road.
That's awesome.
But
Tesla does have a recertification program, right?
They do, but they don't
thousands.
Yeah, they really don't want people doing this, which is unfortunate because people are going to do this. I mean, one of the big arguments he makes is when you buy a Tesla, you don't really own the car because there's all kinds of software and license agreements that they can close if you don't play by their rules. And one of the risks is you have a car that's orphaned. And there's one incident he mentioned where Tesla would not fix an airbag issue on a car that was rebuilt because it was no longer a certified Tesla. But that's a safety issue. And they finally raised some awareness on YouTube and whatnot. And Tesla did fix those issues, even though the car was, as far as they were concerned, off the air. But things are changing. I think in a few years, the Right to Repair Act will be national legislation, and people like me will be able to get the tools that the Tesla dealers and service centers have and fix these cars and get used parts. And there's a lot of used parts out there. You got to imagine they're selling a lot of these cars. Every so often, one gets in a wreck, one gets in a flood, and they show up in the recycled marketplace. So
yeah, I wanted to get a part. I had a dash cam installed, and the wire that goes back to the back goes. They had just zip tied it to the track that's up there, and I thought, I'll just get a second track and cut it in half and cover that so the wire wasn't showing, and that was nearly impossible. Paul, you tried to help me, and we couldn't find a way just to get one of those.
There are a few sources. I have one of the Tesla Toyota RAV4s in the shop that needed a part, and Tesla didn't want to help me. Toyota doesn't want to help me, but I found a recycler in California that has a couple cars that they got, and they were able to sell me the parts I needed. So, you got to do a little digging, and there's a little bit of underground forums, but the stuff is out there. As you see, this guy, he's got tons of Tesla parts in Massachusetts. So.
It's interesting. I'm the Tesla guy in New Zealand who, again, bought a salvaged Tesla. Tesla didn't, he alleges that Tesla had made some promises that back on regarding supercharging and software updates. Tesla said, no, we're not going to do that because this is a salvage vehicle. It's not certified. It's not safe. And as I said on that show, I don't have a super big problem with that, but he also, I guess, was looking for some parts for it, and Tesla would not sell him parts, and that's a different issue.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how they can, well, in New Zealand, they probably can. In the US, can they refuse to sell you parts?
Right now they can, but in states like Massachusetts, they have to sell you parts. And in a traditional automotive network, they have to sell them to you at the same price they would sell their own dealers the parts. They can't penalize you. Now, some of the specialty tools, like if you need a diagnostic software tool, they can charge you whatever they think is reasonable. So I think it's Nissan wants $8,000 to buy their diagnostic system if you're an independent shop. So for me, it doesn't make sense unless I work on a shit ton of Nissans to buy that equipment.
Right.
But they can't say we won't sell it to you, but they can put a crazy price on it to dissuade you from buying it.
Which makes it just impractical for you as an independent person to...
Unless I was a specialty shop that only worked on Nissans, then it'd probably be justified. Like I have the official Toyota software, which is much more reasonable, but I can do everything the dealers can do, the Toyota and Lexus dealers can do. But yeah, we'll see how the next few years play off. And I mean, one of the arguments was Tesla didn't want regular mechanics working on their cars because they would kill themselves with electricity. But as Rich says in the video, there's, it's so well engineered, it's near impossible to get hurt with electricity. And the same as any hybrid or electric car. I mean, show me an article anywhere of someone getting killed by electricity working on an EV or a hybrid car, and it has not happened.
Yeah. I still remember all the anxiety about that when they first started making them, right? And it just doesn't happen.
You say, no, don't buy this because if you get in an accident, the firemen won't get you out because they're scared to get electrocuted. And it's not going to happen the way the car is engineered.
Yep, it's just FUD.
Yep.
FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, for those of you that aren't aware. Our final story, or at least until I check with Mark, our final story, my final story comes from Green Car Reports. I noticed this and I don't understand it. Maybe the super intelligent people here can explain it to me. They're selling their battery manufacturing to LG.
No, they're not selling it to LG.
Excuse me, they're going to use LG in the new Leaf. They're selling it to Envision, a Chinese company.
Yes,
my bad. And I get it. Again, companies do things. They said that it's a strategic move for them to move capital from one area to another to be able to do it. And I don't know that like every car maker needs to make their own batteries. That's maybe not the best thing. But then again, I don't know. I mean, we're talking about a huge combine now, that Nissan has become, and why they would kind of give that up seems a little odd to me. No?
Same reason car companies outsource their transmissions and their airbag systems. There's companies that can do it better, cheaper, faster. And, it's one less thing for them to worry about. A lot of the modern cars are not, they used to be all made in-house, and now they buy parts from everybody and just slap them together.
But isn't that some of the worry as well, Paul? If you outsource it, that the person that you've outsourced it to has to be dependable?
Yeah, and it can blow up like the Takata airbag.
Yeah.
Get it blow up. I guess it's just how the industry is. There's some certain players that make subsystems, and everybody buys them.
So I think when Nissan started this in whenever 2009 or 10, when they first started this, factory and got into batteries, and they were planning for the Leaf to be very successful, and instead they had all these battery degradation issues. They went with a lower energy density so they could use ambient cooling. That's turned out to not be effective, so now they were betting on the wrong horse. I don't think that whatever changes they might have tried to make to that battery line, they had the Lizard battery in 2015, and that still had problems. So I think this is them saying, this isn't going to work. We've tried to fix it. We know that there are people that can make better batteries, and we're going to buy them from them.
Right.
My guess.
No, I hope so. I hope that's the way it works out, because the Leaf's a cool car, and it would be nice to see them. I'm looking forward to the E Plus, not passive cooling, with active cooling, and obviously the more range will make the Leaf up that much more exciting of a car.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, Mark, greatness now.
I've got nothing.
Totally got me. Well then,
we've got Tony in the chat room soliciting for show titles.
Oh, great! A drunken Tony Schaefer in Indiana.
Tony's in the beer garden.
Actually, yes, that's why Lee's suggestion for the title is Tony's in the beer garden.
Tony's in the beer garden. Writing it down.
Partless in New Zealand was another one.
That's a good one. Partless in New Zealand.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Partless in New Zealand.
Oh, heartless.
No, part. P-A-R-T.
Heartless. Sorry.
And then Tony suggested Tesla.
Yeah. Those are like they're good at making news, aren't they? No one can ever say that Tesla doesn't keep this sector exciting. Let's do some shout outs and go home. Paul, I'm going to start with you because you always have a good shout out.
Well, I'm going to shout out to Rich from Rich Rebuilds, just because he's got some fun videos, and I think Tesla's starting to pay attention to people like him, and that's going to be good for the consumer going forward. So
yeah, and it's good that we get ahead of the idea of recycling these cars and giving them another chance before there's like, oh, we're buried in. Did anybody see that pile of and I don't know how you say it, is it OFO bicycles that were dumped somewhere?
No, I missed that.
Dockless electric bikes.
Right.
Somebody, I don't remember what city it was, threw them out, and they basically recycled like thousands of bicycles. There's this huge yellow pile of bicycles.
Well, I don't think they threw them out. I think they were operating illegally, and the authorities confiscated them and then put them in a big pile.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, those should have gone to an auction then. Of course,
right?
Just put them back in the street and cause the same problem.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I don't know how to defeat the little mechanism that keeps them from being free, but there's that. Okay. Hold on. Go visit Paul, please. Evan?
I could use a couple referrals if anybody still needs one, especially if you want to get free unlimited supercharging on your Model 3 Performance that they made available just recently. So give me a holler. I'll send it to you.
And it works with the new Roadster too. Yeah, $250,000, but no friend with the code. Call Evan.
There you
go.
So
yeah, send if you're buying any Roadster, ask Jesus Christ,
we want to be your friend, so yeah. We'll get you a beer.
Ask Patrick, and then if you're gonna buy Model 3, ask me.
There you go.
They can have. I'll give them your code if they ask me.
And your favorite What Drives Us panelist. Speaking of Patrick Connor, Patrick, go.
I have a shout out to the Oregon State Supreme Court.
Wow.
Yeah. So we earlier this year passed a new transportation package, and part of that package included a 0.5% tax on new vehicle sales that would go towards an EV rebate if the base price was under $50,000. So more Leafs and Model 3s, then it was $2,500. So you add that to the federal, and now you're getting $10,000 off your car. But there was somebody that did not like that. It was the AAA of Oregon sued the state to say that you can't tax a new car and use the money for that, because part of the state constitution says that any vehicle tax has to go toward infrastructure and road improvements. And so it has been battling for months now, and the Oregon Supreme Court said, sorry, AAA, but they can tax cars and use it if they want to. So there is now, if you're in Oregon and you've bought a new car this year, an electric car that has a base price of less than $50,000, then you should go to the Oregon DEQ and apply for the phase 1. Since they haven't been able to collect the funds have been going into this limbo state. So you have to apply through a couple stages, and you'll get $2,500. Actually,
awesome.
There's 2 incentives. If you are, they haven't defined what the actual income is, but if you're below a certain income threshold, you get an additional $2,500. So you could get up to $5,000.
Very cool.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah.
Very cool. And boo to the AAA. I get it. You know, they're doing what they think is right. Mr. Coughlin.
I will say, just an add-on to Patrick's note, is that if you are in Oregon and considering it, coming from a province that just lost its incentive, get it while you can.
Yes.
I wanted to say a shout out to the Waterloo Region EVA. We're putting on a couple shows this week. If you happen to be in Cambridge, Ontario at Ribfest, we will be there. If you happen to be in
Which
Baden,
fest?
Ribfest.
What, like barbecued ribs?
Barbecue ribs. That did not
What
come
does
out at all,
Ribfest have
Russell.
to do with EVs?
Hey,
It's a big,
you gotta
it's
go
a
with
big
the
crowd,
people.
and they're hungry for EVs, Paul. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. And we also have there's a classic car show happening in Baden, Ontario next Wednesday. So if you're in town or around, please come out and see us.
Wow. Nice. Fast. You told me it was an
Does that
EV
mean
car
you won't
show.
be here next Wednesday, Mark?
I am not here next Wednesday.
No, we will miss Mark. Ooh.
I'm joining Tony in the beer garden.
You'll be eating
At
ribs,
Ribfest.
drinking beer. Ah.
Yeah. There's no justice in the world.
None whatsoever.
As always, I want to thank Michael Mannering for our amazing music. Find him at manthing.com. You can find us all over social media, and oddly enough, it's usually our name. Facebook.com/WhatDrivesUs. We're on Twitter at What Drives Us. We are on Instagram, What Drives Us Show. And of course, one way you can support the show is with, guess what? Money. You can give us a little bit of money or a lot of money if you're wealthy and so inclined. Patreon.
Has
What Drives Us
Elon
Show?
sent us some money yet?
No. Elon has sent us no money, and it's probably
Your fault, totally. Yep.
my fault. Yeah. I'd say that one's pretty much in the bag. You can blame me on that. So patreon.com/What Drives Us Show. Go there. You can donate as little as $1 a month. $1 a month. You know how much our donations put into our bank account this month? Anyone want to guess?
$3.
$3.36. Woo!
All right.
Woo! So, as you might guess, we're just started out, and we would love it if you would support us. And of course, the best way to support us for free, all you have to do is take a little bit of effort. Go to youtube.com/What Drives Us. Click subscribe to help support the show. Those subscriber numbers super important. We have reviews coming out on the 2018 Nissan Leaf, the 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV Cross, and what's Russell driving this week? Anyone want to guess? Does somebody that follows me on Facebook know? Yeah, I have the
Mitsubishi Mirage.
Mhm.
No.
Mirage.
We're not going down that path. I have the 2018 Toyota Tundra Platinum Edition.
Oh my gosh.
This is the very first truck race we'll ever do, has ever done, and This is a big old truck, is all I'm going to say.
Well, what about that Toyota one? The Toyota that you took out to the desert?
I think it's the same frame, but that's, a much more luxurious cabin. This is a truck in a trucky sense.
Okay.
And it is quite literally half the price.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I want you to know that my careful driving, about 45 miles up from where I picked it up to here, anybody want to guess my MPG?
13.
I was going to say 20.
You're good. You're optimist. 14.6.
Oh, wow.
14.6. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big old thing. So lots of cool reviews. YouTube.com/whatdrivesus. Go there, subscribe, check it out, please. And as always, thanks to everybody in the chat room. Thanks to the panel. Thanks, Paul, Evan, Patrick, and what's his name?
What's his name? Yes, thank you.
Mark. I'm not getting reactions, so it looks like all of my jokes are just totally falling flat tonight.
That's because we hear every third word.
I know. Final shout
donate on Patreon so Russell can afford some bandwidth.
I hope so. And hi to Lauren. Yeah, wait.
He's got to upgrade his 14.4 dial-up here.
This is better.
There we go.
We'll work for bandwidth. Yes.
Please, for the love of God. I'm going to hopefully have this problem fixed by next week. So thanks, everybody, for paying attention, for watching, for being here. Thank you guys for showing up and making the show great. And thanks for contradicting. I wouldn't know what to do if everybody agreed with me.
Good to hear both sides.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, tune in next week and find out what drives us. Was that enough of a little? No, it didn't matter, did it?
No, you weren't a drummer, were you?
I like the drum roll though because it makes me know that you didn't just forget your next word.
Yeah, it happens. Everybody, see you next week.